Have you ever dreamed of coming home to spotless floors without having to lift a finger? Well, you are in the right place. Today, we're going to break down everything you need to know to pick the absolute perfect robot vacuum for your home, your lifestyle, and yeah, your budget.
I mean, it's an incredible promise, right? You just kick your feet up while this little machine takes care of all the crumbs and the pet hair. But before we get into all the cool features, let's get real for a second about what these robots can do, and maybe more importantly, what they can't.
And this, right here, this is the most important thing to understand. A robot vacuum is absolutely phenomenal for daily upkeep. Tackling that constant stream of dust and fur that just seems to appear out of thin air. Think of it as your daily helper, not your once-a-week deep cleaner. It's just not going to replace the heavy-duty deep suction of your big traditional vacuum.
Okay, so now that our expectations are in check, what does it actually take to bring one of these little helpers into your home? Well, honestly, it's a lot easier than you might think. But a tiny bit of prep work goes a long, long way.
Before its first run, you gotta prep the launch pad. The charging station, for instance, needs a little bit of elbow room so the robot can find its way home. And you'll definitely want to rescue any stray phone chargers or lamp cords. They are a robot's favorite snack. Also, just take a quick look at your door thresholds. Anything over 2 centimeters can be a real roadblock for some of these models.
All right, let's get to what I think is the single most important decision you're going to make: how your robot thinks. This choice affects everything, from the price tag to how well it actually cleans your home. It's really the first step in matching a vacuum to what you actually need.
So, first up, we have random navigation. The best way to think about this is like a pinball. It just zooms off in one direction until it bumps into something, a wall, a chair leg, and then it just pivots and heads off on a new, totally random path. It's a simpler, more budget-friendly way to go, and it will eventually cover the whole room. Just, not in the most organized fashion.
Now, the next level up is mapped navigation. These are the strategists. They use some pretty cool tech, like LiDAR lasers or cameras, to build a super detailed digital map of your entire home. And honestly, this is a total game changer, because it lets them clean in these perfect, efficient rows and unlocks amazing features, like telling it to clean just the kitchen after you've made dinner.
So what's this mean for you? Well, the trade-off is pretty clear. If you're in a smaller place, maybe an open-plan apartment, and you really want to keep costs down, a random navigation bot can be a great way to start. But if you have a bunch of rooms or pets, or you just want that pinpoint control, map navigation is pretty much a must-have. You're paying more, for sure, but you're getting that smarter, optimized clean, and the ability to set up no-go zones to keep it away from, say, the dog's water bowl.
Okay, so beyond how it finds its way around, there are a few key upgrades that can totally transform your experience, taking it from just helpful to completely effortless. Let's look at the real game changers.
What's this number? 1 to 2 months? That is how long you could go without ever having to think about emptying your vacuum. Models with a self-emptying station are incredible. They automatically suck all the dirt from the robot's little bin into a big bag in the dock. This feature right here is the one for anybody who wants that true set-it-and-forget-it lifestyle.
A lot of new models promise to vacuum and mop. And yeah, they do. But it's so important to know this is for light-duty stuff. Wiping up some dusty footprints on your hard floors. It's a maintenance mop, not a deep cleaning mop. It is not going to scrub away that spaghetti sauce that dried on the floor from last night.
All right, we've tackled the big picture decisions. Now let's dive into the nitty-gritty details, the little things that can make or break how happy you are with your new robotic friend day to day.
On hard surfaces, like wood or tile, pretty much all of these robots do a really fantastic job. But carpets, especially the thicker ones, that's where they can struggle a bit. They just don't have that deep suction power of an upright to pull dirt from way down in the fibers. But the great news for all you pet owners out there, they are generally amazing at snatching up all that loose fur from just about any surface. Okay, here is a pro tip. Before you even start shopping, go grab a tape measure. Seriously, one of the best things about a robot vac is that it cleans where you can't, like under beds and couches. Some of these super slim models can sneak into gaps as low as 7.4 centimeters.
But it's so crucial that you measure, because some of the more powerful models, the ones with all the fancy sensors, might need over 10 centimeters of clearance. A few centimeters here can mean the difference between a robot that cleans your whole room and one that just gets stuck under the coffee table every single time. It's so frustrating.
So you've picked your model, you've measured under the sofa. What's it actually like to live with one of these things long term? Let's talk runtime, upkeep, and a very modern concern you definitely need to be aware of.
So you'll see a runtime advertised somewhere between 50 and 130 minutes. For most apartments and smaller homes, that is more than enough time to get the whole job done on one charge. And hey, even if you have a huge house, the smarter mapping models will just automatically go back to their base, recharge, and then pick up cleaning right where they left off. No big deal.
Now, while your robot is handling the floors, it does need a little bit of help from you to stay in peak condition. You'll have to empty its little dustbin, unless you spring for a self-emptying model, clean its filter, and most importantly, detangle all the hair that is going to wrap around its brushes and wheels. It's also worth remembering there are some small long-term costs, like replacement filters and brushes.
And this brings us to something that's really important to think about in our connected world: privacy. A smart robot that maps your home is, well, collecting data about your personal space. And as the cybersecurity expert points out, some brands are really respectful with that data, while others might be collecting a bit more than you're comfortable with. It's a key thing to consider.
The good news is you have a choice. If you're not totally comfortable connecting your vacuum to the internet, you don't have to. You can run pretty much all of them completely offline just by using the buttons on the device itself. Now, you will lose out on those fancy app features like scheduling and zone cleaning, but the core vacuuming function, that will still work just fine.
So in the end, finding the right robot is all about taking an honest look at your own home and your needs. Do you want a simple, budget-friendly machine for a small apartment, or do you need a smart, mapping strategist for a big, complicated, pet-filled house? Once you answer that, you can find the perfect robotic partner to take one huge chore off your plate. Now, the only question is, what are you going to do with all that free time?